Hey everybody, Mike Steele here with Barbecue Champs Academy Live, and we got a great lineup for you tonight. Rooters-N-Tooters, Mr. Paul and Lynn is with us. And we got a couple of great co-hosts with us as well. Mr. Aaron Leslie kicked back in his trophy room. Mr. Lee Hickle over here drinking his bottle of water, staying hydrated. So, guys, how y'all been doing today?
Good.
That's good. That's good.
Busy
Man,
on a cold day.
yeah, I'm telling you, it's been kind of chilly here. I was talking to Aaron this morning, probably 5 o'clock, and he sent me. Oh no, it was 5:30, and he said, "You running late, huh? Did you sleep in?" I was like, "No, didn't sleep in. Just was trying to get didn't make the banner for the podcast this last night, and I had to make it this morning. So, but it was pretty cool. It was 28 degrees, and Aaron said, "Well, it's a nice warm 11 degrees out here where I'm
brisk.
at in Midland." So. Lee had icicles hanging off his rear view, off his mirror in his truck. So it's been kind of chilly, and New Orleans and Lafayette and Houston got snow. I know Lafayette, New Orleans area got snow. I think for the first time since 1960s is what somebody had told me.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, here we go. I mean, they were out there 6 inches of snow in South Mississippi. Crazy. So.
A buddy of mine sent a friend of mine a photo here at the restaurant, and he was snow skiing in Galveston. So they called it Ski Galveston, hashtag Ski Galveston. He was out there shredding the snow on the front of the apartment complex.
Yeah, Alan Freeman, I was talking to him. He said they got about 4 inches in Houston. He said they got a little bit down in Galveston as well. He said it was just like an inch or so, just enough to dust it. And I was like, man, that's some crazy stuff. So anyway, well, I hope everybody stays warm. We're going to be down to 19 degrees tonight, so it's going to be our coldest night of the year. I know Gordon, he was chatting with me earlier, and I think he said it's supposed to be like 5 degrees or something there in Ohio. So, yeah, everybody needs to stay warm, that's for sure. Samuel,
well, if you got water wells, y'all leave your faucets running now.
That's it. Samuel, thank you for joining us. Gordon, as always, thank you. Let's see, John, I know it's got to be cold up there where you are, so he's up there in the frozen tundra of Wisconsin. Vincent, we appreciate you being here, sir. Matt, thank you for joining us. Mr. Al, thank you for being here. Sorry we didn't mean to let the cold and snow get your way. Yeah, you can keep this stuff. I'm just telling you right now, we don't want it. So,
well, you asked, was it snowing here this morning, Mike? And I said, no, it wasn't. An hour and a half later, the flurry started coming.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yeah, it started snowing until about probably 10:30, and then it kind of lifted up and moved on. So,
right.
It wasn't much, but it was a little bit.
Yeah, Danny says 10.5 inches here in Sunset. Wow. Danny, y'all didn't get no 10.5 inches in that Lafayette, did you? You got to be joking. I thought y'all got.
What the map said. I saw the.
He might have had a hole. He might have had a slump in his yard, and he just measured when the snow.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. I didn't think Lafayette got
kidding.
that much. So is that true, Danny? Did y'all get 10.5 inches? There ain't no way.
I think Adam and Damon got 6-8 inches of snow where they lived.
Did they really? Well, he's right down there in that area, so maybe. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, well, it's nice and warm where we are right now. So night inside, it's gonna be pretty cool tonight. But hey, barbecue show goes on. That's the way we look at it. So I think a lot of people may be hunkered in. We're still waiting on a few folks to show up. You two guys have got some big competitions coming up this weekend. Going to San Antonio Rodeo, both of you guys. That's pretty deadgum cool. So. Aaron, I know you done pretty dang well down there. You got RGC year before last, correct?
Yeah. 2 years ago, I think I was 8th overall last year.
Okay, wow, that's pretty dang solid. So, I know you're excited to be heading back, Lee. Did you cook San Antonio last year or not?
Yeah, this is my 3rd year cooking it.
3rd year, okay.
I didn't get the results of the man above me here, Big Aaron, but hey,
right.
I'm working on it though.
Right.
Hey man, it took me 5 years to get that first place brisket.
Yep.
I got
that reserve grand. So I just kept putting my head down until finally it paid off.
That's right. That's all you can do. Well, there'll probably be close to 300 teams down there again. I know it's been like that for the last few years. It's been bumping right at 300. And anyway, good luck to you guys. And hope y'all
loading in tomorrow. Load in tomorrow, cook on Saturday, go home Sunday.
Yeah. There we go. Hey, talking about big hitters here, Jordan. I mean, come on, man. We need to send you the link to get you on this
Look
thing
at
as
this
well.
guy coming
There's a
in.
guy, dadgum, man. I
There's
mean,
the big grand champion.
Now, I
right
mean,
there.
was Jordan like playing like, oh, I mean, I'd love to be on the show? Or he's like, oh no, there's really some big hitters on there. I mean, what's he trying to do? He's
one of the two. I mean, we'll have to reach out to him and get his butt on the show as well. So, yeah, that's a badass right there. There's no doubt.
Yeah,
So, was going to be there with my kiddos, but they didn't finish the pit in time. So I was like, no Beano. Oh, man,
No
that's
bueno.
terrible.
Bueno.
You can still show up and do something.
That's right. Kyle, glad to have you with us, brother. Stay warm down there. He's down in South Louisiana. William, thank you for being here. And
Did you really?
Yeah, Canada.
Greg Aubrey?
Yeah, wow. Greg Aubrey from Canada. Oh, Greg Aubrey passed away. Okay.
Sorry to hear that.
Man, that's terrible. Let's see what Jordan had to say here. What's he saying over here?
He's big fans of Paul and Lynn.
Oh, big fans of Paul and
Yeah,
Lynn.
he is.
Seems like everybody is, man.
Everybody is.
Oh, good, and you.
Just messing with you. Hey,
and of course
don't
you.
get all personal. He's getting his feelings out there.
Oh, that's all right. Don't worry,
Right.
Jordan. We'll be sending a link out to Jordan next week. Get your butt on the show. So,
Right.
Anyway. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's kick this thing off. We've got enough on here right now. We got 33,000. So let's see if we can bring in our guest tonight. Let me real quick thank these folks, partners of Barbecue Champs, Gunnar Wilhelm, Mr. David. Guys, keep him in y'all's thoughts and prayers. He's battling some pretty intensive cancer, and he's been battling it for a little over a year now. So keep David and Gunnar Wilhelm in your prayers. Also, Team B&B now. They picked me up. Lee's been with them for a couple years, so I'm now part of B&B Charcoal and been using that stuff for umpteen years, ever since I basically started. So appreciate them, and Daigle Barbecue Sauces and Glazes. Miss Gail does an amazing job with what she's got. Told you guys 100 times before, I'll say it again. If you're needing some Prairie Fresh Prime Raider Red Meats, talk to Kirsten. I know she shipped out to at least 100 of our customers last year. So she's got Prairie Fresh pork butts and ribs, and if you're needing it, she can hook you up. And I think she even has some Wagyu briskets and stuff as well. So check them out as well. Well, look, it's time to bring in the dynamic duo, the legends, the people that everybody want to be like, Mr. Paul and Miss Lynn. How are y'all doing with Rooters-N-Tooters? Y'all doing good tonight?
Hey, we're doing great. Yep. Thanks for having us on.
Oh, heck yeah, man. I mean, I saw you at the Jack, met you for the first time. Y'all were super nice, and I was like, man, I got to get your information. We're going to have to get y'all on. And we tried, I think, right there before Christmas, and it was just everybody was so busy, and you said, man, I can't do it right now, but it may have been the weekend after Christmas, and I was like, that's all right. We're going to get you on. So glad to have y'all here. Huge congratulations to this. Y'all were inducted in the 2025 KCBS Hall of Fame. I know that has got to be one heck of an honor, especially for y'all. It's not like y'all been cooking for 25 years, and y'all was kind of telling me a little bit about that, but man, congratulations to both of y'all for that.
Thank you. That was quite the experience. I mean, we're fans first, so the class, this 2024 class of Hall of Fame inductees was insane at the talent that's been up there. When you start thinking about, your Shake and Bakes and Tuffy Stone and your Travis Clarks and all those guys. And then some of the older ones like, Parrot Head, and then Q-Owl. And so, I mean, it was a really strong class, and we're sitting up here going, wow, are we really in here with these people here?
Right.
It was, we were kind of fanning out a little bit for sure.
I had a lot of people say how quiet I was during that whole, like the table discussion, but I was just sitting listening to their stories going, they're so cool.
Oh,
don't show you're excited or nothing. I mean,
I was sitting there like, can I get your autograph? I'm watching you on TV. You're so cool.
Yeah. That's awesome. Sometimes you are starstruck by stuff like that, right? I mean, you see them on TV. I mean, they're big names, and here y'all are amongst, them. And that's why I said we got Barbecue Legends on tonight, because y'all are with those. You're standing right there beside them. You're on the same stage as them, and inducted in the KCBS Hall of Fame with, your icons that you know probably grew up watching as you started your barbecue journey back in, when did y'all start?
2010.
2010. Yeah, we started
2010. Yeah.
2010. We did a few years backyard, and I looked it up not long ago. I guess it was somewhere around 2014, 2015. Things, I guess, started clicking a little bit, and we started cooking more. And next thing you know, a little bit more led to a little bit more. And we thought we did 14 one year. We thought we was doing something.
Right.
How many we do this year?
47.
Oh my gosh! You sound like Aaron, Leslie, and Phil and Bill and all those guys. Man, that is a lot of cook-offs. Holy
that's passion right there.
You do anything north of 45, and you're consuming all your time.
Yeah.
I think we had 8 weekends because there were several doubles, but still, when you look at the year, I think we had a run of 24 or 25 weeks straight.
Yeah.
Where it was just cook, work, trim, pack, cook.
Right. Yeah. Robert Smith's another one of those. He probably cooks 49 competitions a year out of 52. Wow. The only time he's taking off is Christmas and Thanksgiving. So, that's a hard grind right there. But like you said, you had some doubles, and that kind of helps. Where's the majority of your cooks? Now, y'all are based out of what state?
Tennessee. We're right in the middle of Tennessee, just below Nashville.
Okay.
But with KCBS, I mean, to do that many contests, you're traveling a lot.
Yeah.
And I think for us, we probably hit around 12 states this year.
18.
We had 18 states.
Might have been 19 because we hit New Jersey. I think we had two brand new states that we had never cooked in before, and that's saying something because I mean we're hitting.
We've been at it for a while.
18 states for the past couple of years.
But I mean, we go everywhere from, like she said, we'll go up as we were in New Jersey. We've been in Wisconsin. We're in Florida last year. Our first one of the year was down in Florida, and so we.
Nebraska.
East Coast, all the way over. I think Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska, maybe the furthest west in.
Right.
Wow. But everywhere in between.
Wow. So what's y'all's average trip? I mean, is your competition's average like 5-6 hours away, or is most of y'all's over 10 hours away?
Yeah, it depends on the time of the year. So, spring and the fall, it's easy to find. Matter of fact, they're sitting on top of each other. It's the summer times where it gets tough for us. But I would say if you kind of put it all together, then we're probably somewhere in that 6-7 hour average.
Average getting to it.
There's quite a few 12 hours in there, and then there's quite a few 4 hours in there.
4 hours in there. Yeah, it's like Aaron Leslie. It only takes him 10 hours just to get across the state of Texas.
Yeah, I used to think that was something until we met Lee. And when Lee was doing his KCBS run, in the east side of the nation there. I thought we traveled a lot until I started talking to him, and then Bill Purvis and some of those guys were Phil. They were all coming over, and they're like, "Yeah, it takes us 12 hours just to get out of Texas," and then they go all the way across. And I was like, "Oh gosh."
Yeah, it's a long state. I mean, we're right here on the state line of where Shreveport is, and it's funny when you were coming into Texas. The mile marker is 632 miles. It's like 632 miles to get across Texas. So it's
that's I-20.
That's I-20. Yeah,
I-20.
I-10 takes over and it keeps going.
And it keeps going.
You gotta add some more miles to that.
Yeah. So when you think you're almost there, I think you got another 100 miles down I-10. So
you got a ways.
It's one of them kind. You might as well pack a lunch and get ready to take a nap somewhere along the line. So, wow. So, Rooters-N-Tooters. Now, I've had some things going through my mind of how this name could have came about, except the tutor part. So how did we get the name Rooters-N-Tooters? That's a really cool name.
So I'm a big movie buff, and I love some movies. And Eddie Murphy is one of my favorite comedians. And the movie Boomerang, they were sitting around eating dinner, and John Witherspoon, just a super, super funny guy. And they were eating chitlins, and he was just like, I ate it from the rooter to the tutor. That is our team name, Rooters-N-Tooters.
Yep.
That is hilarious.
Oh my goodness. Your enthusiasm on that. I mean, I really almost said, show me that again, but I didn't want to do that. Your enthusiasm is amazing.
I can't talk about it if you don't get into it. But yeah, he was into it.
That's it. That's the whole thing.
Is that her job to explain that?
Oh yeah.
Or do you ever get in there and
It's
show
her
the
idea.
same? Okay.
Well, it's all her. Yeah.
Wow. That is hilarious. Goodness gracious.
So, Paul, are you the rooter or the tutor?
I'm the rooter.
The rooter, okay.
I am the tutor.
Is there a reason why you're the tutor and not the rooter?
There is. If we don't invite you inside, there's probably a reason. You're very lucky because you've actually been on the inside of our RV. That was a good day.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Oh goodness.
Well, we'll just leave that imagination kind of flow right there.
It's kind of going. Yeah, it left nothing for the imagination when we start talking about tutoring around. So, oh my goodness. Well, let me ask you guys another question. I think I remember, didn't y'all do something pretty well with Team of the Year in chicken last year? Or is my memory getting old?
Yeah, I mean we've had some really good chicken years. We were Chicken Team of the Year 2 out of the last 3 years. So
wow,
we almost did it with pork.
Yeah.
Almost did it with pork, but yeah, we've done it with brisket too. I think we did 2 out of 3 years with brisket one year.
I thought you got pork in 2021. You didn't get
it?
We did. But we were
close this year. We were right there at it this year.
Okay, so y'all.
Chicken's always been our really strong. Ever since we first started. It's always been really
wow, and that's like one of the toughest ones. I think most people have more trouble with chicken for consistency than anything. So,
and y'all been pretty consistent with chicken the whole time, right? I mean, or y'all had y'all's dips and took y'all a while to get back.
Because I think last year we wound up maybe second or third. I mean, it was tight last year as well, and so it's kind of been the one. Every once in a while, you get off a little bit, and we'll go back and look and go, okay. What have we done? Because it's usually something we've done.
Right.
We've gotten a little heavier on something, and then we realized, hey, keep it simple.
Yeah, we'll go back and look at pictures and things. That's I know a lot of people take pictures for for showing boxes and stuff like that, but actually we do it just the opposite. We can tell a lot by looking at a picture. Well, how heavy was that sauce? How heavy were those rubs on there?
Exactly.
Right. It's pretty invaluable as you cook, especially this many years. It's easy to get off a little bit. So
yeah, no doubt, it really is. I mean, you can get yourself in trouble. You can get heavy-handed with a bottle of shaker, a bottle of rub, and everything else. So,
I mean, people think that you do have a photo profile right on your phone, right? You got thousands of photos. If you take barbecue pics every weekend, they think that people think they're keeping the photo for the box to see what it is. I look for it for like information, what did I cook the last time I was at the Jack? What was my box like, or what was I doing here? Yep. And I look at the color, like you just said. I look and see what it looked like, because if I did good and it was a heavier sauce, or if it was darker sauce, or I went darker with the ribs or chicken or whatever, you can always find that information out. It's not to just streamline and show everybody and brag about your box. It's to actually look at the information on it and let that picture speak to what you did.
It's historical knowledge. So I mean. If we get older and older, that gets harder to track in your head. So you better figure out a different way to do it.
Well, when you're cooking 47 competitions a year. It's hard to remember after that. Well, what did I do here last year? I'm like both of y'all. I mean, I take a lot of notes and pictures, and same thing. And I want pro tips. Well, there's your pro tip right there. I mean, Aaron said that's what he does, and here. Paul and Lynn is doing the same thing. So those pictures are very invaluable, and you need to use them for more than just posting on social media. So, do y'all cook legs or y'all thighs? What y'all's go to?
We've been legs for a long, long time. Yeah,
legs when legs weren't popular.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we popped over legs probably in 2013, 2014.
Okay,
and that's pretty much all we do.
I will always go back and look at pics from the previous year's comps. Helps you gauge where you need to be. Yeah, that's right, Lucas, all the way from Australia. So, yeah.
I love Australia.
I love Australia.
I love their accent.
Oh, I know it. They are so cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah. She gets so excited. Heck, I'm telling you right now, we need to have Lynn on the show all the time.
They invited me in their trailer during the Jack, and I was so excited, and I had no clue what they were doing. And I was like, y'all just keep talking to each other. I just want to listen.
Yeah, it is a cool accent. I mean, the Aussie's down yonder. So anyway, so do y'all do any wings, or is it just thighs or just legs?
No, we've just always done legs. To Aaron's point there for the Jack, I mean, we took a picture of our box just to see how we got legs and wings all kind of in the same box, and we're able to kind of replicate that again. But no, we've done wings a few times when we had to for a few contests that we got invited to, where they provide the meat and they're telling you what to put in the box, so to speak. But no, just always been legs. I know wings are great, and I've had some phenomenal wings from some of the people that we cook with, and they do both thighs and wings kind of in the same box. But our legs stand by themselves, and I don't see the reasons to put another product in there to muddle that up. So
right.
Legs until then.
Don't give them too much to choose from. Yeah, I was a nervous wreck going to the Jack because, I mean, I don't do KCBS other than once a year, and I had never cooked wings. The first time I cooked wings was the Jack. And I was like, I didn't want to put them in. Everybody was like, you can just put one wing in the box, and that justifies it. And I think it was Eric. I was talking to him in y'all's over there by y'all's trailer.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, because I asked him, I said, Eric, am I going to get murdered if I put wings in the box? He said, if they're good, put them in the box. And I'm like, man, I don't know what a dadgum good wing's supposed to taste like. I've never tried nobody's wing. So I was like, I don't know. I took a bite of it. Man, it was tender. It melted in my mouth. And I was like, screw it. I'm going to put wings in the box. And I made the thighs a little shorter, and I crisscrossed them right down through the middle. And, man, I got a 15th place chicken, and I was ecstatic just to know that I got a chicken call. So I don't want to cook them. I mean, and they were good. And when I went to the American Royal, I had thighs, and I was like, screw these deadgum thighs. I'm sick of these stupid things. I already had 16 trimmed. I didn't even cook them. I just said, I'm going to cook wing both days. So, and they turned out good. Judges didn't like them, but it turned out good. So
I promise we were there. We were there. I promise.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think it's what you're comfortable cooking, and I mean, I'm fine cooking thighs. I mean, I've done it a handful of times at the Royal, but man, wings are just so easy to do. And golly, who doesn't like a wing? So I got a couple of judges at the American Royal that didn't like them. So anyway, so let me ask you guys a question. So legs, that's kind of a tricky protein to cook. I know you can blow out that tendon in the bottom and things like that. So have you got one pro tip that you could share without giving the farm away of what you think will help be more consistent if you were cooking legs?
I think your prep starts. So it starts with your prep. Going in there and cutting that one tendon out. There's a big tendon and a small tendon, and the bigger one is the one that I cut out. Okay. Looking at your leg. I mean, if it's already got holes in it where they picked out the feathers and things, well, it's probably going to get just worse. So being a little bit selective about that. But I think the biggest thing is on blowouts is just watching your temp. Legs are bad about, especially with direct type heat with drums and things. You crank that heat up, you're going to blow them out.
You'll blow them out. Yeah, it's too much direct heat up underneath them. Yeah. What do y'all cook on? What's y'all's cooker of choice?
Our primary, we cook 3 meats on the Outlaw offset.
Okay.
And then we do cook our chicken on a 30-gallon gateway.
Like 30-gallon gateway drum.
Yeah.
Okay.
You put 6 or 7 legs in your box.
6.
Are you looking for smaller legs, or are you looking for a certain weight, a size?
You want
in your hand? Yeah.
Did you see this? That's what he wants to put in a box. And
Those are big.
Yeah.
He likes turkey legs.
Yeah. Give them something to bite on, right? And be nice and juicy.
No, I think used to that was the case. I really did. The biggest ones, the better. And we did well with it. But I think over the years, I've started coming down a little bit on size. For us, we're somewhere around that 5 ounce or so trimmed.
Okay.
We'll go down to about 4.8, 4.7. After 4.7, for me, that's just getting too small.
Okay. Good
and all it does is it's not the chicken. Your chicken, it's just your timeline. So I mean, it starts to mess with your timeline. And I don't want anything any bigger than 5'3", and nothing really smaller than 4'7". So
your sweet spot's around 5 then.
Yeah,
well, that's awful hard because that bone, right? And the bone is so long. If you get a long leg, and you're going off of weight where the meat's up. I mean, it's kind of gets a little difficult when you're trying to pick that out. So.
Yeah, well, actually, the ones I cook are within 0.2 of each other. I don't like anything more than 0.2. So typically when I sort out my chicken, I kind of group them all up by size or that are pretty close, and I'll kind of pick the size that I think is the average, trim it, weigh it, and that's my starting point. So I want to be 0.2 either one way or the other of that one leg. And that's where I get we cook 12. So that's where we get our 12 legs from.
Okay.
And that's just for consistency at the end. I mean, my theory is, you get a lot of weight differences. They're going to have a little bit different tenderness in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting. Well, I know Aaron's you're a leg guy, Aaron. So
I love them.
Yeah. And, I mean, a lot of people are really, really good cooking legs, and I think it's just a little harder to do a leg than it is a thigh. So the trim to me, and I've never cooked a leg, but the trim looks a lot easier than a thigh. I hate them stupid thighs. So I guess on a leg, there's really nothing to really scrape.
There's a lot of work to do in the leg, though. There's a lot of trim work on the leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes to sort them and trim them, it's like about an hour. Okay. If they were already sorted, I could probably do it in 20, 30 minutes maybe.
But you're probably buying the legs already cut in the store, right?
Yeah. We mostly cook Spring Mountain. Already just legs already in a pack.
Okay.
Yeah, if we get really desperate for chicken, we'll try to get quarters and then part out the leg.
Right. I got you. That's interesting. Let's see what John says over here. Let's see.
Well, Jason wants to know if left legs or right legs are better. Does it matter? The right
leg.
The right leg.
And the main reason is so.
We're telling too much.
Oh, okay. No, the main reason is, I mean, if you think about your judges, there's only a few things you can control. And so the majority of judges are right-handed if you just think of general population. So they're going to grab it with the right hand. And so when they grab that chicken leg, you want that most tender part of the chicken, which is the back piece of the leg. And a right leg will put that piece of meat in their mouth. Because you can't always guarantee that a judge will bite off of both sides. But the funny thing is trying to sit there and look and go, okay, is it a right leg? Okay, that's the fat part. Right. I want that piece in their mouth. So, trying to just sort them out. But we sort them out by weight and right versus left. And if we can get all rights, that's what we try to go for.
Okay. So if they pick,
that's a nugget. That's a nugget.
Yeah,
that's a big nugget y'all just threw out there. I'm telling you right now, folks. I mean, you want to know where the real information's coming from? It's right here. So we'll always get some kind of information out of them. But that's pretty cool right there. And I guess even if it's in the box, right, left, when that judge picks it up, they're going to be right-handed. They're going to put the handle in their right, the end of the leg in their right hand. So, yeah, that's pretty interesting right there. So I never thought let's see, what did Jason say? I never thought there would be an actual answer to that question. Way to go, Jason. Just throw it out there, Jason, and throw some mud on the dang deadgum wall and hope it sticks. So, my gosh, goodness gracious. And I voted for you for our CBA board member. Like, come on. Oh, my goodness. Own it, baby. Own it. That's hilarious. Well, so you cooking everything on a drum, or your legs on a drum. Your big meats are going on your Outlaw. Outlaw seems like they've been a pretty popular smoker coming on the scene. I would say probably Lee, the last 3 or 4 years. And Aaron, don't you? Yeah. Cook similar to a Jambo.
I don't think so. I don't think so. That's just
I don't have a Jambo. They cook like a pit maker.
Like a pit maker. Okay. That's interesting.
We had, we cooked on water cookers for a while, Southern Q water cookers out of Georgia. And, but we got to travel a little bit more lighter just with the truck and was borrowing equipment. And we were fortunate enough to borrow quite a few Jambos and we're cooking on them as we were traveling around. And that's what kind of pushed us to the offset.
right
direction. But I think, to me, they're different.
Right.
As far as the airflow.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting.
Do you think the Outlaw cooks hotter?
No, I don't think it cooks hotter. I just think the amount of airflow a Jambo has running through it is a lot more than what an Outlaw does.
Okay.
The Outlaw is a much slower airflow,
Okay.
and actually, I think it's a little harder to control. I used to joke at it because I didn't know what I was doing with it, and I thought, how do you make this thing dirty? You can't make this Jambo dirty. The darn thing just eats, and it's so clean coming out of it all the time. And
Right.
I think the Outlaw is a little different. If you try to run it like a Jambo, it's just going to be pretty dirty.
Okay, that's interesting. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron's only got like 14 Jambos, so he's got the market cornered. So if
I don't blame him.
if Jamie ever does retire, he'll have enough Jambos in storage that he'll start selling for $50,000 a piece, and
price is right.
He'll be able to retire. So yeah, that's crazy. Wow, that's interesting.
I roll that Jambo. I close that stack down until it comes out the doors. It depends on the way the wind is blowing. I'll coat that stack down. I'll turn that dampener down, and either comes out the doors, which the doors are still tight, right? So they're pretty good, especially at 30-inch. But it'll come out the firebox. And once I see smoke huffing out the back of the boiler door, then I'll crack it open just a little bit, and I'll run it. And that's as dirty as it'll get. And I'll run some white smoke through there all the time, just because you can get all that in that chamber, right, where it's not a smooth flowing, kind of food. Smooth flowing smoke. So I run mine either it's coming out the doors or it's coming out the firebox.
Yeah, I think that's a trend we're saying differently. Used to, I think years ago, people were all the time saying, that if you had any kind of smoke coming out of an offset, that it's dirty or something like that. But I've definitely seen that change a little bit in KCBS, where you see more offset guys now. They're letting it smoke a little bit more. Jay kind of gave me a few tips with the Outlaw how to control that better and make it smoke when I want it to smoke. So we for sure, especially on big meats, you'll see smoke coming out of our stack.
I got you. Do you think KCBS is switching over where they want a little bit more smokier profile now?
I think so. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. You've wondered, because the drums were so long on the circuit, and they're still doing good, but I think you're starting to see more and more of the offsets starting to come back.
Well, it's just that circle. More. The circle's starting to come back around again, where every 4 to 5 years, it starts to make another quarter of the clock.
Yeah.
Right. And so you start about every 10 years, you start to see that flow come back around.
Right. Yeah. The drum smokers definitely were just the rage there for the longest, and now I'm starting to see more and more people on the offsets. Still a lot of drums out there, but I do see more and more offsets that are out there. So that's
there's a lot of drums still out there for sure.
Oh yeah,
they win all the time. So you can't see how good they are, really.
You can't know your drum. A lot of people love them. A lot of people are good on them. Hell, look at Brad. Good Lord, he can show up.
He's not even his drums. It's anybody's drum.
Yeah, it don't matter who it is. You could give that guy a dadgum garbage can, and he'd still kick your butt. So, David, do not trust Lynn and Paul. Oh God!
I had a hard time getting my flavor profile right in North Alabama, Tennessee, and South Indiana, using my offset when I was doing the KCBS run. It seemed like all the can cookers were kind of dominating all the offset cookers. Do you think Outlaw has kind of taken over those areas now over the cans, or is it still kind of equal? Like if I were to go back now to Tennessee, maybe I have a chance with an offset.
I do. No, I don't know if it's a takeover or as much as it is there's saturation. So I think there's more offsets kind of coming into the competition. Whereas at one time, drums were the predominant cooker. So I think you're just statistically, you're starting to see the two kind of go head to head more because they're kind of evening it out and we're in the contest. But in doing that, though, I think judges are starting to recognize the difference in a drum flavor and in the offset flavor, different flavors. And there are some areas that are a little bit more preference to a drum, to drum flavor, and then some don't quite like it. So as long as you know what the areas are, you can kind of adjust to it.
Sure.
I was that guy that I looked at when I drove through the field. I always made a circle around it. I wanted to see who was cooking on what, where it was at, either drums or pellet grills or offsets, and how I kind of put a number together. And that's what I do is I go around and look, and if it's predominantly more than 60% drums, then I'm going to start at least the first hour depending on what meat it is, the first hour, 2 hours, or 30 minutes on the drum, and move it to the offset. So if I can put that drum flavor on there and let that smooth smoke go across it, and that way I'm still in the middle of the mix, right, where I'm still not too far off of the offset smoker, but I've still got that drum flavor to kind of mix in with the rest of the guys.
There you go. Take the class. He teaches that. Come on, Aaron, get it out there, brother.
Well, I was just waiting. I mean, I figured something being said, but that's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you kiss it with that drum, and whether you set the sauce on it or you start your meats out on it, you're still putting that flavor on there, so it still puts you in the mix. But yeah, I do show that in the class. But it's kind of it's just one of those deals that I don't want to be standing out so far that I just sit in my chair all day.
Right. And that, if you're wondering about the class, that's exactly what he just got through saying about the 60%. That's exactly what he said in the class as well. So, and he just threw you a little tidbit of information from the class, and that's what he's looking, you just don't show up and do, don't take everything for granted that you've got it to where it is. If there's a way that if you got multiple drums or offsets with you, put them to use. You can use both of them. So, it's good information. So.
Yeah, I think you do the same thing with a drum. I mean, if a drum guy's in more of an offset area, we'll just wrap earlier. Just keep going as long. Just wrap.
Hour and a half, boom, wrap it. Yeah, it'd be done.
Yeah, you'll just cut that flavor back a little bit that you normally get, and you'll mix right in, and you'll do well. So. Sure.
Okay, so you're saying if you got an offset and you got a lot of drums, just don't leave it in the smoke as long. Get it wrapped sooner.
No, for a drum guy. So if you're a drum guy, in an offset area.
Oh, okay.
That maybe or you've looked. That's something else that we do sometimes too. Is you can look at past contests and all right, who's winning on this contest, and you can see what they're cooking on. So you start to understand what the judge is looking for. So if you're going to a contest and the offsets do really well there, and if you're a drum guy, well, just wrap a little earlier. I mean,
yeah, makes sense.
Same thing for offset guy for me. If I'm in an area like Missouri, I mean, that's mostly drum country. Right. I'm not worried about smoke at all. I'm letting that thing eat every piece of wood I can find, and I'm going to dirty it up, and then you'll mix in well with them.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So a little bit more dirtier smoke will mix in with the drum guys on an offset.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess that's true because the drums are going to put a lot of smoke.
You're going to give that steaky flavor to it, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Steaky sizzle to it.
Yeah.
And of course, if really you want to, you water pan or no water pan. I mean, there's tricks for everything. I mean, back then, I think I don't know if it's me and Lee talking, but a couple of guys, we even took pans of charcoal on the microwave rack of the Jambo and lit the lump charcoal underneath it, and the juices would drip on top of it and put back that same smoke while the offset was going across it. I mean, we've done it. We've tried a whole lot of things that give that steaky, dirty up that flavor.
Yeah.
Even a guy built a pit with that same slide out tray underneath the bottom racks of his pit just to have that charcoal flavor that a drum gave with the offset smoke. So I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can do it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Man, a lot of pro tips tonight. Wow.
Well, with Jay with Outlaw, he pretty much built a new offset just for that. I mean, he's got an offset with an entire open fire pit on the bottom, so you can run it through the firebox, or you can throw coals on the bottom, and it's right underneath the meat. So a lot of the MBN guys with the whole hogs and stuff, that's what they do. They fire it up, and once that fat hit that charcoal right there, they'll let that go for a while, and then they go to the back and just control it by heat from the back. And it's great. That's
interesting right there.
But Jay has done something on offset. So Jamie was always a one and done, right? It's the same footprint. Is it a border door or is it the old fashioned door? But the footprint stayed the same versus the cosmetics, right? An enclosed or a J3, J5, porch model. Where Jay took that, he listened to the cooks and said, "Man, I wish I had this with a side door, a side load firebox, or I wish I had this with a with a swivel out microwave shell." He's done some things to help make the cookers a little more. Hey, I've got this new little tool. I've got a new little gig. And he kind of listened to those guys and made those things happen. So that's one thing that Jay has done versus Jamie or anybody else building pits is they kind of listened and he gave them options to put on there and build it how you wanted it instead of just having, just a standard footprint.
Yeah, there's not a wrong or right to it. I mean, Jamie wins, and so just like me and my legs, why would I want to change that? So he keeps putting out that same type of footprint, like you said. I always classified Jay Craig as a master fabricator that has a passion for barbecue. So his business is really fabricating. I mean, he has a massive building business built around custom fabrications for all type of different applications and different uses. But he just loves barbecue, and it's that's his side niche. Really, it's not really what pays the bills for him at all. But he just loves to tinker.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. That's pretty interesting right there.
Hey, Brian Jarvis just logged on. Hey, Brian, did y'all do his barbecue class again? Did y'all teach?
We did. We just came back this past weekend, had a great class with the Atlanta Barbecue Store class there in around Athens, Georgia. So it was myself doing ribs. We had Smoke Me Silly doing brisket. Bad Rooster, a Georgia team that's been killing it. They did chicken, and they do wings and thighs and stuff in there. So I mean, they're excellent chicken cooks. And then Brian was actually a teacher. Brian taught pork.
Well,
okay, there you go.
And he did great.
Didn't Brian get a good walk at the Pussy? He won a big trophy on pork last year.
Pork is his thing. Pork is his deal. I mean, he wins pork a lot. He doesn't cook a lot, but he wins pork a lot for somebody, especially for somebody who doesn't cook that much.
Right.
Wow.
It had a really good flavor to it, so I see why he wins with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that just because he's my buddy either.
Right.
It helps.
Oh, goodness. Let's see. James Dotson. Hey, Paula ran into him in Tennessee at a gas station after the American Royal Embassy.
Sure did.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure did. It was wild. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So James is an awesome guy. He lives over in the Dallas area in Saginaw. And, man, him and his wife, Erica, are awesome people.
So, Mike, Brian owns the Atlanta Barbecue Store. They're outside of Atlanta, of course, right? And he does a weekly podcast as well. Yep. So maybe it'd be pretty good to have him on your show and you go on his show, because he puts on a really big cook-off every year in Cummings, Georgia. Yeah. And it's for a good cause, for the Jarvis Foundation. It is Cummings, right? It is, yeah.
Yep.
The Jarvis Foundation.
She's gonna go grab the trophy that he's putting out. Man, you got to see this trophy. They're awesome. They swapped over to a glass trophy this year, and I think it'll set them apart from a lot of contests. I think.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I think we're all looking for different trophies. Aaron's big thing is he likes big banners and buckles, anything with a B. So,
my goodness,
glass peach.
The Georgia Peach.
The Georgia Peach. Check that
and
out.
if you lucky and you win, you get a
There you go. Buckles, belts, and banners. There we go. The 3 B's. So
that could be a great team name.
Buckles, banners, and sweet. Oh man.
I was so excited because I didn't have a belt. And I didn't know the belt was for the grand. And I was like, oh, I got a belt.
That's awesome.
I got a belt.
They're awesome. I got 2 of them wrestling belts. I love them. I got 2 belts and I got a couple buckles. So that is all. That is a good team name.
Can you hold that peach trophy back up to the camera?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, they're hand blown. And
that is awesome.
Wow.
Look at that. That's pretty cool right there. Now.
Great job. Great job, Brian.
Good job, Brian. That is awesome. That is really cool. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how was the weather down there this year when you did the class? I know I was blessed to be part of the first year. So were you guys, and it was like 12 degrees outside.
Yeah.
It was miserable. Was it the same way?
Cold. It was raining on us on Saturday. But we had a whole bunch of canopies that we all tied together. And actually, pretty much all of us were cooking underneath the canopy and still had tons of room for people to come out and view on the cooker as well as inside the class. So it worked out fine.
That's awesome.
Nice.
It's in the same location as it was when you did it, Lee.
Oh, same place every time. Okay. That's a great location.
What city is it in?
Athens, Georgia.
Oh, Athens. Okay. Yeah.
There's a general store.
It's right next to Athens.
Yeah.
It's pretty much it's a small place right next to Athens.
It's like a general store, surplus, everything you can imagine, and it's great for a class atmosphere. Parking lot's big enough to go outside, and well, it's not that big, but it's big enough to go outside and put your cookers on it. But every year, Brian puts his class on. He brings in the pros, and every pro teaches a pro team, and all the money that the students buy in for, it goes right to the Jarvis Foundation.
Oh, that's really cool.
So,
yeah.
Yep. The pros don't charge for their time. They fly, drive in, they teach the class, and all the money goes to the foundation.
To the foundation. That's awesome. That is a really good gig right there. So,
oh, it is.
Yeah, that's barbecue family, baby. Ain't nothing like 100%. It. So, nothing like it. So,
I think he's the only one that does something like that too. I don't know of anybody else who does that kind of format.
Yeah, maybe he can put it on there. I mean, his contest, I think that class goes towards help funding the contest itself, and then the contest is where he makes. But I don't remember what the number was that they donated to the charity for Feeding Hungry. I don't remember what that number was, but it's normally in the past been pretty large. So yeah, he gives back a lot.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, and also just so you know, if you guys need any shipping boxes made, corrugated boxes. Brian owns a box making business. He makes boxes.
You need cutting boards. He can get you bulk cutting boards according to Vehicle.
I buy about 1,000 from him. I love the cutting boards, you know.
There you go.
But yeah, if you need a box made, that's what he does for a living.
There you go. Wow. Where was he at when I had my candle business? Because I was needing boxes all the time. Oh, golly. All right, so let's talk a little bit about 2025. What's on the agenda for cook-offs? Y'all got another 40 or so lined up?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we've done 40 plus for about 3 or 4 years now, so we're going to hang back a little bit. We'll still do, somewhere in 2025, and who knows? I think the biggest fear is we've got 1 or 2.
We got 4 in March.
Well, no, I meant as far as wins going into the Jack.
Oh, we just got 1. 2.
We got 2. So we've got 2 going into the Jack for next year. So if we win another one, then I know what's going to happen. We're going to want to try to finish it out to get that 7.
Right.
To be the auto in there. So that's the plan. Somewhere between 20 and 25.
20 and 25.
So Arkansas has a couple of cook-offs. Are you always doing the 2 or 3 in Arkansas?
Usually.
Yeah, we do a couple over there. But the ones in Arkansas tend to be on the same time as a lot of other ones. So
okay,
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we get really desperate for contests in between June and August.
Yeah, not a lot. It's so hot, especially down here. Good Lord, I try to get them knocked out early as well. All right, Vince, we're gonna hook you up, Brian. Vince is needing boxes. He said he goes through a ton of boxes, so. You see his name, Brian. I got him up on there. Facebook him. It's pretty easy. He owns the Smoking Wizard products. He's always usually at the Jack every year. So why don't you reach out to him in an instant message or a messenger on Facebook and see if perhaps Vince, he may be able to help you out or save you some money, man.
Oh, he can. So, and cutting boards too. He sells the best cutting boards at the best prices.
There you go. So y'all try to hook up, see if Vince, if Brian can help you out. So that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
So what will it take to have you guys come to a big cook-off here in Texas? Money?
I mean, I would love it. Absolutely love it. I keep threatening all the time. I'm looking at the CBAs. I'm looking at the Outlaw and stuff. I'm like, where's one at that we might be able to try to do? And I think just the distance is a big thing. But man, I would love to do one.
There you go. Yeah, come on. We got a lot of them in Louisiana too. So just a little bit closer. You don't have to get twice in Texas.
Yeah. We've never cooked in Louisiana.
No.
Oh,
we always said we wanted to do Hammond, and then I think maybe once we finally started traveling more, it went away. But we haven't cooked in Louisiana.
Yeah, we got
some
different cook-offs. Yeah, we got some good.
Yeah, well, we're just at the point where we've been cooking for long enough to where you're just like, hey, let's mix it up. Let's do a little something different.
Right.
I just drove 8 hours to Blanchard, Louisiana this last week to cook up there in Shreveport by Mike's house. And it's one of the best cook-offs ever in Louisiana. And only thing I had was 11th brisket and a 3rd rib. Chicken was nothing. So I need to take your chicken class.
Yeah.
I think I saw it was Fire Dancer up there.
Yeah.
He was. Yeah, Eric Lee was there.
I think I saw where Eric had went to that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sure did.
I think he had one walk in chicken or ribs, if I recall. So
I don't remember, but
it's a tough comp. It's a fun cook-off. That guy's a super awesome promoter. It's 20 minutes from my house, and man, I was lucky. I was only one of 2 teams that dropped off all 3 tickets, finished 5th overall. So it was it's a fun time. I mean, it's
Louisiana's different. You mean you can win Friday and you'll be dead last on Saturday, right? It is way different in Louisiana.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
So,
It's
am I right, Mike?
It's very different. Yes, Louisiana has definitely got its own breed of barbecues. So there's a few certain cities that you just got to be careful with. So they don't like it over spicy, over salty. It's just kind of.
And you think they would be from Louisiana? They want it bland.
Well, man, that sounds like KCBS all day to me.
It may work for you.
Yeah.
You can keep Morgan City. That's one I don't like. I mean, that place down there, I don't know what they want. So it is a very strange place down there in Morgan City. And, man, you are in South Louisiana, and you would think they'd want it spicy. I can tell you, you better not even have no spice on that food. I tried it one time. I was like, good Lord, man. I mean, we got 14 pounds of sugar on this dead-cum rib. So, yeah, but it's fun. You know, we got a lot of good places. A lot of the competitions that we have are in really, really fun places to go to. We're going to go be down in Lafayette, which got 10 inches of snow, according to Danny, today, which is, I think the last time they had snow was in the 1960s. But it's the T. Wayne shootout memorial. T. Wayne Memorial is what it is. And T. Wayne was always known for cooking select briskets. And he wear your butt out with the select brisket all day long. And he passed away several years ago. And so to carry that to, own in his name, and he was a big part of BCA, which is the Barbecue Competitors Alliance. You get a bag of meat. It's a select brisket, maybe a choice if you're lucky, but usually it's a select brisket, 2 chicken halves, and 3 racks of ribs. And it's $300, your entry fee and your meat. And you walk up and you go pick out a bag, you go trim it, and you cook it, and that's what we got. So I had never done it, but I went on ahead, signed up for it. It's the first weekend of February, and I figured we go down there. It's at an RV park. It's around 3 big ponds, and it's really, really nice little area, and you're like 5 miles from Lafayette, so amazing.
So, Lynn, one thing you like about BCA is that all their cook-offs are like KCBS. They're at an RV park. So pretty much, you always have power, which is a big thing. Sometimes you have water, but they're usually at an RV park. So I know you KCBS people are kind of bougie. You got to have that. All that good stuff, right?
That's right. Yeah, you'd love that.
They're not carrying 60 gallons of water and generator and 5 gas cans.
Yeah.
But you go into Texas and there's no power, no water.
There's no power.
Like bring your own. So
yeah.
All the flyers make sure they say no power, no water, nothing provided. Bring your own generator.
Right. Yeah, we got a lot of them at RV parks. Let's see, Bunkie is, Bow Bridge is, Marksville is, Minden's not, but he does bring in a generator, so he's got like 20 amp power. It won't run your air conditioner.
Plenty of power.
So, but there's a few of them that we have to provide power, but not many. So, but it's a lot of fun. It really is. So if y'all ever want to get away to Louisiana or Texas, we can get you hooked up with a couple fun competitions. So
yeah, no, it's definitely. I would love to. I just don't know which one. There's so many. You're just like, well, it's a big ordeal for us to do it. So you kind of want to pick the right one.
Right. Well, you want to pick one that pays a lot of money, where it's at least got a good payday, right? So like this one I'm going to, it's $9,000 payout, somewhere in that, where it could be as much as 10. They pay top 10 on 3 meats. So the payout's usually pretty good. I mean, you can easily get a first place brisket, rib, or chicken and get probably close to $600. So makes it pretty nice. And even 10th place is probably going to get, 75 or 100, probably $75 for a 10th place, or maybe $100 for 10th place. So,
and most of our cook-offs in Texas, Louisiana, it's not GC heavy. They kind of portion it out amongst all the cookers. So the grand champion doesn't win the bulk of the money.
Yeah.
So it makes it more better.
Yeah, it really does. So, it's a lot of fun. Our snow should be gone by Thursday of this week.
Well, if you ever come down to South Texas, you got a place to stay.
Yeah.
At my house. So
that's it.
I just want to come hear all your stories, Lee. Lee is the greatest storyteller.
Oh, he's got more stories than you can even think.
He's got such. Every time I learn something new about Lee, I'm like, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hold him back.
Lee's got a few stories, that's for sure.
I sure do.
Well, Lynn and Paul, we appreciate y'all so much for being here. Good luck for 2025, and I wish you guys the absolute best. And Lee and Aaron, thank you guys for being part of our Barbecue Champs podcast tonight. I hope everybody's enjoyed our show, and everybody stay warm. It's going to be pretty chilly out there the next few days, especially down south. And I know where Paul's at in Tennessee, it's cold there as well. So everybody just kind of stay warm, and we'll be back, Lord willing, next Tuesday night, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, for another big show for everybody. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And as we always say, y'all go out there, have a lot of fun.